that did or didn't decide the championship one way or the other, depending on who you were supporting in the form of Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton. It is, I mean, that is the rule, isn't it? It's a lap after the lap cars have unlapped themselves that the safety car should go. And let's go straight back up to Martin. Whether they're doing it to the letter of the law or not. I mean, you can't have it both ways, I suppose, but we were denied that grandstand finish, weren't we, Martin?
Yeah, I think whatever the regulations say, it's not right, is it, to wait, especially on long circuits, somewhere like Spa, it takes forever to wait for the lap cars to get through, and the regulations, they should either drop back or, I mean, they were half a lap away. They're not. The whole reason that came in, as I said in commentary, was to stop lap runners getting in the way of a big grandstand finish. That's what that was all about. And also, sometimes it brings players back in, and suddenly they're part of the race again. So there's a show element to that as well. But it's effectively to get them out of the way on the restart. You could let them drop back. But the regulations say if the race director considers it safe to do so, if it was safe because it's a dry day, there's not pouring rain or bits and pieces, debris all over the track or crash cars everywhere. The message lap cars may now overtake will be sent to all competitors, and the others must stay on the racing line when they're going through. It then goes on to say in the many pages of regulations that having overtaken the F1 cars on the lead lap, the safety car will extinguish its light. The drivers are then those that are obliged to go around, that have been allowed to go through. It says they must respect there might be incidents out there, drive at a safe speed, and it doesn't say they have to be on the back of the queue. It's nothing to say you've got to wait until they've actually arrived around to the back. It just says they've got to go and proceed at a reasonable speed. So nothing I can see in the regulations. I don't see the one lap bit, but there are plenty more to read through as well. But whatever it is, it needs changing.
Yeah, can I come straight back to you, Martin? Because we had this discussion, didn't we, ad nauseum after Abu Dhabi 2021. Is there a case, if you get this kind of situation arising within the last 5 laps, let's say it's the last 5 to 7 laps of a Grand Prix. I was sat with your old mate in McLaren, Jonathan Palmer, watching that one, and we were having the old red flag discussion here. I mean, we could go on and on about it, but, the fans want to see a finish, don't they, under green flag conditions. They don't want to see under safety car conditions like that.
No, they don't. And as I said, whatever the regulator says, they've got to say something soon, different soon, because we're here. We've got a fantastic crowd. All the people sitting and watching at home on their devices, TV or online or whatever, and they deserve a finish to the race. That was the whole point of some of these regulations. So, if you've got to red flag it and have a restart, there's quite a lot of procedure around that and quite a lot of delay. But I do think there has to be a better way on a long circuit, particularly, of sorting the lap runners out without it prolonging a safety car period, which are already long enough, let's be honest.
Yes. Thank you, Martin. We've got to say goodbye to viewers on Sky One. Goodbye. We're going to pick this up and continue on Sky Sports F1. What's your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are that we shouldn't talk about it too much because we just had an amazing race. I thought it was an amazing British Grand Prix. I thought there was so much fighting out there. And I understand the rules should change. I do. I think a finale, great finish to the race would have been awesome. But a lot of them end under safety cars. So as a race, I thought it was really good. I thought there was loads of overtaking and lots of action. And I mean, I didn't think those were going to be the top 3 or top 4 or top 5 at the finish of the race. So it was all a surprise to me, so I thought it was exciting.
Is that not a separate argument, though? Can we take it like that? We could take it at face value. You could take the first, I don't know, however many laps, 47 laps or whatever, and go, yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
But the last 5 laps, it's under a safety car.
No, I get it, but we haven't talked about the great bit of this race.
Well, we're going to. But we're going to. It overshadows it. I mean, is that not a fair point that Martin was making?
So, but I think Martin's point is slightly different to your point, and what I would say is, yes, obviously, I would have loved to have seen that last lap showdown. But sometimes you just don't get what you want, and that's just how the cookie crumbles in motorsport. The red flag, though, I don't really love the idea of that, because it's like trying to engineer the result that you want to get, whereas, you know, if you get a safety car in the middle of the race, like, that's just your luck. You know, it's sometimes it can work in someone's favor and sometimes it could work against them. So I don't like the idea of trying to force a result.
No.
We just got to let the sport be what it is, and, you know, it's already over-regulated, you know.
Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, it's very difficult because of fuel loads and stuff. But if, like in other forms of motorsport, especially in the States, where they push it an extra lap, push it an extra lap or push it an extra 2 laps, and if you get a yellow flag in that period, it gets pushed on again, which is tricky because, you know, they're very tight on fuel loads. But I agree in that regard that it would be nice to see a great finale.
And just to Martin's point, I think in this particular case, with that additional rule that they brought after Abu Dhabi, I do think it's a little bit unfortunate, because according to everything that was going on track, there was no reason why they shouldn't have been able to go racing. So that maybe needs a look at.
But no one here would have been saying what we're saying if Lewis was leading the race.
They enjoyed it. They still enjoyed it. Look,
I think we would love to have seen Lewis doing the race. So, yeah, it all depends on, I guess, who you want to win the race. But all in all, I thought it was a great British Grand Prix. And lovely to see Lewis up on the podium after quite a tricky afternoon time.
There's a lot to get through. As you said, there was enough in there. We enjoyed it. There's no bones about it. It was a good race up until that point. But there we go. Charles Leclerc had won. We have just had this in from the FIA. It was as I thought, the safety car. This is the reason, by the way, that it was redeployed or actually stayed out the safety car period regulation. Article B5 13.5, we've heard this one before, Toto, states that 1 lap must be completed following the unlapping procedure. The process was followed by race operations. The safety car in this lap message was displayed erroneously due to a software error. The irony of going back there again 5 years on from
Simon, let's not go back there.
Okay.
I'm really happy for George, and it's a bittersweet. You're making it more bitter if we talk about the past.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, with regards to the race itself, I mean, both your drivers with some bad luck today. Kimi's in the end was Turnal, but George, you know, decent to keep going from where he was.
Yeah, you know, the sweet part of the day today is that I'm so happy for George and all the team, because he had so difficult weekends. He somehow doesn't gel with the car. We had a straight line speed problem yesterday and the day before. And, you know, a driver sometimes needs to feel comfortable in the car, and he doesn't. And then scoring a P2 today in Silverstone, that's something that I'm really happy for him.
Just a bit of maybe a slightly different question, but why was Kimi the only one able to go so long on those tyres?
You know, we had the debate because our strategists, who are much more intelligent than me, said we got to create an offset. But intuitively, I said, well, this is much too long. You know, we have 12 or 13 laps left to catch up 15 seconds. And I said, no, we're going to catch him. And then we left him out. He went out, and he was almost 2 seconds faster for certain laps, and would have caught Charles 5-6 laps to the end and would have seen an epic battle for the win.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that, though, did we?
Yeah, and we'll move on to that. You know, through Copse, he went onto the curb, and part of the aerodynamic device at the front, was it the cake tins?
Yeah, it looked like the cake tin. We think it was 9 because that's when it first appeared. But, you know, it's on us. A car should not break. And I don't think the ride was worse than any laps before.
But the thing that surprises me, it's not like he's lost the front wing or the rear wing. I was amazed that he was unable to keep it on the track. I'm not saying he was in the wrong, because he's the one in the car. But I was amazed how he couldn't get round corners. And he said there's no steering.
Yeah, he couldn't turn it anymore. First, it was blocked by a carbon part. And then at the end, when it was gone, we haven't really done the post-mortem yet. What happened is just theory that we have at the moment.
I think he had a 10-lap offset, didn't he, versus Charles. Are you confident? I mean, if that hadn't happened, and we hadn't had everything that happened after that, he was going to chase him down? Did you think that was the case?
Yeah, you know, you never know in motor racing, but we had more than a handful of laps left with a second and a half in more performance. So in any case, it would have been great to watch these two drivers, Ferrari against the Italian and the Mercedes, battle it out.
Well, this is obviously a very sad Kimi. He was clearly on for the win today. It would have been his race to lose in this case. But on the other side of the garage with George, it's been a tough weekend for him, hasn't it? It just feels like, earlier this season there was the bogey track in Miami, but that seems to have continued on a little bit. I don't know if it's this new era of cars that he's struggling with, but now he's had a real points hold. It's going to get tighter between them. How's he going to make sure he brings the battle to Kimi?
Yeah, I think he's holding on. They have both had the luck and the unluck of DNFing. Kimi now twice, George once. And the season is long, and he just needs to continue to believe that he can do it. Finding those little gremlins in the car that cause him troubles at the moment.
It must be really mixed emotions for you, Toto, because obviously, Kimi's lost a lot of points over the last 3 races, 43 points from Barcelona and here, which is a lot. But you do have the pace. The car is very fast, and it's a winning car pretty much every time you wheel it out.
Yeah, as you say, but it's so many points. When you lose 43 points, and then with George it was 25, it's just a lot. And if that continues to accumulate, you can only win a championship if we get this under control.
Yeah, I was going to say, right now, though, obviously Ferrari having just one and 2 men on the podium, they look like, well, they are your nearest rivals, cut now down to 78. Do you feel, again, we've still got a long way to go in this season. The development race is everything, is it not? And
it is.
Do you think that's going to be what decides it, or are you...
Yeah, it is a tough development race, and they have been bringing parts more than we have. And you can see that should have been a boogie track for them with the energy. They were thinking about having 5 or 6 tenths deficit, and they come here and they are absolutely on par with us for big parts of the race. So, this is a tough fight that we have on our hands now.
We appreciate it, Toto. Thanks. We'll let you get to your debrief and enjoy that one with George and commiserate Kimi Antonelli, but he's still the championship leader.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on that one.
Can you repeat the paragraph?
I can't now. I've put it away. I don't know it as nauseum. I'll send it to you. Let's hear from Lewis Hamilton. He's still to see the stewards, but in third.
Well, Lewis, that was a confusing and frustrating end to the race. I'm sure the fans everywhere would love to have seen you push to the checkered flag, but they were denied that opportunity, as were you. Just tell us about the decision to pit, which ultimately lost you P2.
I don't. It's all a bit of a blur, to be honest. I don't really remember when. I was in P2, and then we stopped.
And then ultimately you had to finish under the safety car, so you couldn't benefit from those fresher tyres.
Yeah.
It must have been
you couldn't
so
have predicted
annoying.
that, but did what we thought was right.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know you're going to feel deflated now. Ultimately, it is another podium, your 16th at your home race. It's promising signs here for the team, aren't there?
Congrats to Charles. Charles did a great job today, and all the magic that I had on Friday just disappeared through the weekend. I'm probably going to get a penalty right now as well, so I'll probably lose. The FIA often have to react. I went through a yellow flag and I didn't see it, and so there's another jump the start, yellow flag. Yeah, when it rains it pours.
And then you were managing a huge amount through the race as well.
Yeah, I was just lacking front end, and we massively under-egged it with the front wing, and that's my fault and the engineering fault.
A lot to process, as you say, but well done. Thank you.
Lewis, you were mentioning the yellow flag. Did you speak with the steward already? You can confirm us that you can keep...
I can't confirm anything, no. I've just been to see them. That's it.
So,
I've just been to see them. I don't have an answer yet.
Okay, and...
But most likely I'll probably get something over.
Sorry?
I'll probably get a penalty, I'm sure.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, and think you'd be pretty happy with that today? Solid performance, decent haul of points?
From a points perspective, this weekend's been pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Would have loved a chance at the end for it to go green and get one lap of racing. Because George was on old tyres, he would have been at a disadvantage. Lewis would have been racing him, and I feel like I could have taken advantage of that somehow. Look how yellow it is. So it's, the results have been pretty amazing. I've been happy with the P3 yesterday and the P4 today. On the contrary, the pace was pretty shocking. Really not happy with the car and how it was today. So makes me even happier, the fact that we finished P4, but we just stayed out of trouble. We avoided mistakes. Reliability was good. So, you know, the things that were important were good, but the car was just so difficult today. So we have a hell of a lot to improve.
So you got the very best out of a difficult car. I mean, you know, you're obviously too humble to say that, but I'll say it for you.
Thank you very much.
And lifted presumably by this amazing crowd. I know I've said it a few times today, but it has been mind-blowing, the support you've had.
No, it has. I mean, even now on the below the podium, there's a lot of yellow, so it would have been beautiful to be up there and see it from on top of the podium. But even to drive around every lap, of course, on the driver's parade, like this was. These moments are really the moments that you want to cherish forever. You know, these are almost more exciting than simply just finishing on the podium or having a win somewhere. Like this is way cooler for me. So I think that's the kind of thing I'll miss. You know, one day.
Don't talk about
in
that
many
yet.
years, in many years,
that.
that's the kind of thing I think I'll miss so much. But that's just it's just so special. So as always, a big thanks to all my fans and the Yellow Army for coming out, because it was pretty mind blowing.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Lando getting deep there, getting deep. That's what happens when
Where's
you've
he
got,
going?
as he said, the Yellow Army, 16,000 of them.
Yeah, it's meant more to him than a win. I mean, really?
Pretty
Yeah.
intimidating, though, that big stand all around the outside of Stowe. It's huge, his stand here. And, I mean, obviously it's great as a driver to have that much support and to feel that loved. We've seen it help Lewis. You know, sometimes that just gives you a little bit of extra wind in your sail. So he seems to love and appreciate it.
And especially in this situation, you know, he's driving a car he's not really happy with around here. The pace isn't there. So that really helps uplift you. And he came away with a P4, which might be a P3.
We're going to go to Spa, which is a track where we feel there'll be even more energy starved. McLaren were slightly worried about their deficit in the straight line in Austria, and again I think here a little too. I mean, they'll look to chase things. We know how good they've been at developing, particularly last year, but they've clearly got some work to do. A quiet weekend. It's one of those weekends that just, you know, from the outset we thought we've not particularly got the pace here.
No, they didn't seem to have that. But also just on the whole subject of Spa and the whole deployment recharge issue, we did think it was going to be worse in Spa. But also, to be fair, coming here, we thought it was going to be quite dramatic. And it didn't end up being as dramatic as we anticipated. So let's wait to see once we're actually in Spa. But yeah, I guess what surprises me the most is obviously McLaren have got the Mercedes power unit, and I think that they are just behind the curve a little bit on all the small little details that Mercedes have been able to find out, the little tricks, you know, that they talk about with where they're lifting off, getting back on it, making sure that their battery's fully charged at the right moments, that kind of thing. Even though they have got HPP personnel, each team that's a customer, they don't really have all those details just yet. They're just a little bit behind the curve and they'll play catch up.
Others had the reliability upgrade. Neither of the McLarens did, from Mercedes that is, but they are due an engine upgrade to come, and that could be, I mean, that could help.
Yeah, it could. And I'm not sure when the upgrades are coming, but Zach was saying it's coming very quickly after the British Grand Prix. And we know with McLaren from the past, they don't bring small upgrades.
No.
And they always deliver, which is very impressive. So I expect them to be up there. And this is the thing for Mercedes. Mercedes has been strong all year, but they've had other teams challenging them for wins, which is really helping their championship.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? As we've seen, it's one of the top four, or the other teams within the top four that are challenging at different circuits. And it was Ferrari this weekend, and Ferrari are their closest rivals. They've closed the gap to within 78 points in the constructors of Mercedes. That's
Kimi, it started so well, and the whole weekend was just literally like it was yours, and then the hot take at the end. We heard so much about your character at the end, that you were so determined to finish, even for just 1 point. I mean, the hunger was there, and you were just so tenacious. Tell us about your thoughts and feelings and how you were processing what was going on.
Yeah, it was, I mean, today it had to go this way, unfortunately.
What do you mean?
I mean, you know, I couldn't even get 1 point, you know, when things looked like I was still going to be able to get 1 point, still the safety car came out, and you know, and I got the penalty, which I mean it's the rule, but I find it a bit
unfair.
Yeah, I mean, because it's okay if you get track limit by going off and gaining, but you know, I couldn't keep the car on track, and in that instant, so you know, I was trying my best to stay on track, but I just couldn't. But then after the last pit stop, the car felt kind of drivable, I would say. I mean, I was still missing probably, I don't know how many points of downforce. The car wasn't turning in the right corners, not at all. But yeah, it was, you know, I still think that I could get P10 today. At least 1 point, but couldn't even get that.
So it was a wheel shield problem.
Yeah, from what I heard
is
that
you hit the curb.
I hit the curb like every lap. That lap I probably hit it less even than previous laps, and I could feel instantly something broke, and I just didn't know what was going on, and also the team was trying to understand. Initially we thought it was the front wing, but then it wasn't the front wing, and yeah, just didn't go our way. And it was a shame because I think we had a real shot for the win today.
He's so young. He's seeing his lead evaporating through actually really not any fault of his own over the last couple of races. He's had some bad luck. They say it always levels itself out in Formula One, but yeah, he'll feel pretty deflated. He'll want to go into the break ahead.
Look, he's obviously had a couple of reliability issues, a bit of bad luck here, a little bit of bad luck there. But also, there's also been a few mistakes from him. I mean, in Austria, he didn't have the best of opening laps, and they asked a few things for him to iron out as a driver. But you can't fault him this weekend. He did such a great job. He's been quick all weekend long, and I do think that penalty is very harsh, because it's one thing to be, you know, abusing track limits because you're gaining an advantage or trying to go quicker or overtaking someone off of the track. But he's clearly not doing that to gain an advantage, and he's already going way slower than he would have gone anyway. So it does feel very harsh. And on Lewis, in terms of his penalty, or the fact that he didn't get one, I do think that that's fair too, because the yellow lights came up on his steering wheel after he passed the incident. Of course, there's always a world in which there could be another crash further down the road, which you're unaware of. But in this case, that wasn't the case. And also, I think the stewards should have dealt with that much earlier than now.
Max, we heard a lot of team radio of just how much you were struggling with the car today and calling it horrendous, and then obviously the off at Stowe. Can you tell us why that happened?
Same as Austria, the rear wing just doesn't fully close. So, I mean, I saw the analysis, you know, it looks like it closes, but it doesn't. It closes, but it's just open, and you lose a lot of rear downforce, and that's why, yeah, the car just spins off the track. I mean, when it happens one time, you know, that can happen. You know, faults happen. But 2 times, it's getting very dangerous for me, because you can really hurt yourself at these high-speed corners when it happens.
Is it a quick fix? I mean, you would have thought it could have been resolved after Austria, but clearly not.
Different fault.
It's a different fault but causing the same issue.
Yeah.
Wow. Look, I know that it's hard to find the positives at the moment, but you were running in a podium place before you had that, so clearly you do have some pace in this car.
Yeah, but I mean, we got lucky, right? I mean, Lewis had that 5-second penalty. We had a VSC at one point come in as well. George had a slow puncture, I think. Kimi had a problem, you know, so then that's why you put yourself in that position. So even if we would have finished on the podium, it would have been a podium that we didn't deserve on pace, because on the hard tires we were nowhere. I had really no grip, and I was surprised. I mean, of course, probably I got a bit lucky with George and Lewis fighting. It was actually quite entertaining to watch in my mirror. I was like, thank you, but yeah, we were just simply too slow. On the medium, maybe a little bit better, but still the balance was so far out for me the whole weekend and in the race again that I can't push at all. And then at least you hope, even if you have a difficult weekend balance-wise, to finish the race, but we can't even do that all the time. So yeah, it's just another painful weekend.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Thanks a lot. Congratulations, another strong race. Just tell us what your challenges were and where you think you were able to capitalise.
Yeah, just the middle stint, I guess. I mean, middle stint, 80% of the race, 0 pace, and I don't know, I was like, it can't be me that's being that slow right now. You know, I had a good feeling the whole weekend, and after that final pit stop, went back again, new front wing, and it was back to the feeling I had this whole time. So I felt a lot better, a lot happier, but I wasted the whole race. So yeah.
Why do you think your experience, your feel in the car is so different at the moment to your teammates? Because you said you felt good in the car all weekend. He said the absolute opposite.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think usually we come out of the car with similar feelings, and probably this weekend he's been trying other stuff and that he's not been happy with. But nonetheless, he was still very quick and fighting for a podium. So if he's not happy with what he had and he was still up there, then it's good news.
Yes. Good point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, he's not happy with his rear wing. I mean, he's just highlighted that. I mean, as he said, it is dangerous, isn't it? If you're not getting, the full closure that he's expecting, it's caught him out a couple of times.
Yeah, that's not a normal incident for Max. He's one of the drivers that loves it on the edge, at the rear of the car. So yeah, when it's inconsistent and it's never done it before in the race, yeah, it can be very dangerous. And I don't know if it's the rear wing. Obviously, the rear wing is coming back up. Maybe the downforce isn't reconnecting in time. It's taking a bit longer. So they'll have to look at that, and maybe they're going to have to connect the rear wing earlier down the straight. So giving it a little bit more time to reconnect properly so he has all the downforce when he turns in.
Some decisions to make, isn't there? Within the Max Verstappen camp, we talked about this in the build-up today, but if you're weighing things up on the balance of these ADUOs, theirs is the benchmark. That, Red Bull Powertrains, that is the benchmark, by the way.
It's quite unfortunate, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
It's fortunate on one hand because they've done a great job with their first engine ever, but at the same time, everybody else gets an upgrade and they don't.
Yes.
So that is quite harsh.
And there was a reason about, perhaps a bit of controversy about that, but the Mercedes, all of those powered by Mercedes obviously got one upgrade, those, and plus the Ferrari, but then the other ones have got a couple of upgrades. However, he's balancing that up against the fact that not every week he can challenge those Mercedes, and therefore, what does he do? He said he's not in this, is he? Max isn't interested here in fighting for the minor points. It's about who's got the best car, isn't it? Simple as that.
I mean,
and can he force his way in?
I don't know if that's the right... I wouldn't say that he's not interested. I think Max is always very interested. Obviously, maybe he's not loving what he's doing right now, but the reason he's showing the frustration he's showing about how the car isn't performing is because he's interested. He's interested in seeing that car go forward and making sure that they iron out any little issues that they have. As Isaac Hadjar correctly pointed out, he is still regularly, trying to put some pressure on those front-running guys, and he was second on the podium in Austria, so it's not all that bad there, but there are some things they need to iron out for him to be able to make the difference in the car.
Is it good enough? And what's going to happen, do you think? If you had your crystal ball now, where's Max Verstappen going to be next year?
Hypothetically, they're looking around, which is exactly what you've got to do. He doesn't want to be here for another year, finishing 6th, 5th, even though he has had, as we've said, a chance of winning a couple of races. But is that the Max effect? And the car isn't actually that good. So, I don't know. We will have to wait and see. But, the teams that he wants to go to, all the drivers have contracts and long-term contracts. So it's a very difficult decision for the likes of Toto and Zach.
Contracts. Are they worth the paper they're written on these days?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, that's the question. Let's hear from the Racing Bull boys. Liam Lawson and Arvid Lindblad. Great effort from the pair of them. 6th and 7th today.
Congratulations. Another strong day for you and the team. Good start as well. Just talk us through it.
Yeah, it was a good start. It was. I knew it with Max. It was always going to be interesting because it's not easy to pass him. So I think I was on the grass a bit before turn 1, and then we went side by side in 3. And then unfortunately I had an issue again with the deployment to turn 6. So Liam passed me, which is a bit frustrating, to be honest. Because I think if that hadn't happened, I would have been able to stay ahead of him during the race. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that, but regardless, it's a very good day for the team. We capitalized on the mistakes for the guys in front, so it was nice to score points in front of the home crowd.
In terms of these deployment issues, what does it feel like? Is it just frustrating? Do you feel like you've got one hand behind your back, that you can't fully execute the race as you would like?
I think the reality is there's some I I think it's very complicated for some of the engineers because there's some strange rules with certain things that have to be done, which means that there's some weird stuff that happens sometimes, and it's if you lift at a certain speed, 10%, you get no deployment, but if you lift 20, it's fine. So there's just some weird stuff that happens, and unfortunately that's
kind of counterintuitive, isn't it?
It's the way it is at the moment this year, and honestly it's the first time we've had this weird stuff. It's just a little bit frustrating because the team told me it would be all fixed. They told me don't lift in turn 5, and if you do, press the boost. And I was going to go flat, and then I was right in Oscar's aero wash. I was going to go off track, so I did a tiny lift and went back on power, and then I had no power. Even then I pressed the boost, but it was too late. It's just the way it is.
Thank you. Congratulations, another strong race. They just keep coming. And in fact, you might be promoted because potential penalties coming. So well done.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been a good day. We had not a very good start, but a really good first lap. Here, with the way the energy is, even on the first lap, you can make up quite a few positions. So, yeah. And then the car was just really good, especially second half of the stint. For us, it really came alive. So, yeah, very happy.
Is the car proving to be good at any racetrack? It feels as if he's got potential wherever you go.
At the moment, yes. I mean, the big test was going to Barcelona and testing really the high-speed balance because we hadn't had that from when we brought this sort of bigger upgrades to Canada, and it's been really, really good. So, yeah, it's just getting better every weekend. Things are very strong. Obviously, some tough tracks coming up, but I mean, no reason why it shouldn't be strong there as well.
Well done.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
I'm really pleased for both those drivers. In particular, though, Liam Lawson. Let's start with Liam Lawson because you look at where he was after the start, having been elevated to the Red Bull and then dropped back down again. He could have gone into himself. He didn't. He decided, Naomi, to get back at it, and he really has. And this year has been a revelation.
It has been. Look, it was really tough what they did to Liam Lawson. I mean, they promoted him into that seat quite quickly. They removed him from that seat even quicker. And yes, that is very demotivating. I think it's borderline embarrassing sometimes for drivers. You come in there, you think you've made it to the big team, and then you just get whacked back. And that's not nice. It's not a good feeling. But he's managed to turn it around. And I think, if anything, it's for the better. He's in a car that's clearly competing well, in an environment that clearly is nurturing them a little bit better than what the old version of Red Bull used to do, and pulling out great results week in, week out. They're now putting a lot of pressure on Alpine for that 5th spot in the Constructors' title, and yeah, happy times for both of them.
And a word on Arvid. Your first British Grand Prix. We talked about this before the race, and he's turned it on, and he's achieved a big haul of points.
He has. Obviously, he's a little bit disappointed because he's ended up behind his teammate.
Exactly.
It's always the way. But no, I think a great result. Finishing 7th, big haul of points for the team, and yeah, in front of the home crowd, it must be pretty special.
Really special. I mean, a childhood dream come true. First of all, to get to F1, but then to race in front of your home crowds and score points. And I know his whole family's here enjoying this with him because, you know, the families play a huge role as well.
Yeah. Okay, right, let's wrap things up. Last of all, let's hear from the top two, George Russell and Charles Leclerc.
I know there'll be plenty of frustration about that race, but actually, finally, you had a bit of luck as well.
Yeah.
It ebbs and flows, right?
Yeah, ebbs and flows. It's racing sometimes. I think probably deserved to finish P3 behind Charles and Kimi. Ended up, fortunately, coming home in P2 after the puncher. So, yeah, strange emotions, but, you know, really nice just to finally stand on the podium here at Silverstone. Family were here. That was nice.
Yeah, because it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has been. It has been. It's not been the nicest to me, Silverstone, in the years gone by. So I'll take it, but still a lot of work to do because the pace in qualifying, the straight line speed wasn't good enough today. I think it was better, but the pace was not there. So yeah, I need to understand why, and if I want to fight for this championship, we need to do better.
Were you expecting safety car to come in and have that final lap to defend? Because obviously you were on older tyres. It must have been a bit stressful.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it was. I don't know the reason it wasn't.
Apparently it was fractional about the last lapped car. Wasn't quite in time. I mean, it's very fine margins, but
yeah, I mean, I was glad for the fans, they'd have loved to have seen it.
Yeah.
I definitely, considering I was on old tyres, cold tyres, everyone around me was on new hot tyres, I would have lost at least a position. So I was glad to see it finish like that.
Finally, just tell me, when you had that slow puncture and then you carried on fighting, could you not feel it?
Yeah, I felt it, but these tyre pressures are like balloons, so I think it made me faster.
Hey.
So,
briefly?
Briefly, yeah. So I think I lost about 5 to 6 psi over the course of a lap and a half. And then suddenly I was I've got quite good grip in the left-hand corners. The car felt imbalanced. But yeah, all good.
Well done today. Charles, congratulations. I mean, absolutely magnificent. Let's start at the start. It was a great one from you.
Yeah, and yesterday was a very poor one, so I was very focused on trying to do a good one this time. And we did, so I was super happy with that. Then I really focused on the car, on the feeling that I've been chasing for quite some time now. And yeah, straight from the first few laps, I felt that the feeling was still there, the one that I felt yesterday in qualifying. And that gave me the confidence to really keep pushing on that first stint. The second stint was as positive, but I think without Kimi's issue will have been tricky.
And that feeling, is that something that you can manage now, going to lots of different tracks? Look at Spa up next. It's another really testing one. Do you think that the Ferrari is in a really strong place now?
I think I need to be careful saying that and not get carried away too much. In a sport like motorsport, you can go from hero to zero and vice versa very quickly. And I just need to keep working. I think we did a really good job in finding a place where I felt much more comfortable with the car. Is this something that I can carry on every single track? I can, definitely. So that gives me the confidence that I will do a step forward from now on. But it doesn't rely only on that. It's all small details put together that makes a big difference. And for that, I need to keep my head down. But it's a relief in a way, because it's been tough.
It's been a long time coming as well, and what a track to do it at. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And that perhaps is the story of Silverstone 2026. Two men who needed a result, got a result today.
Yeah, they did, and I'd have to say a great win by Charles. Yes, it was made easier because Kimi was out of the race, but he put 20 seconds into Lewis Hamilton that race, and Lewis is on fine form at the moment, so really impressive by him, finally bouncing back. It's been a tough few races, and I think it was quite an emotional one for him when I spoke to him earlier.
Yeah, I think if you would have spoken to Charles at the beginning of the weekend and asked him if he thought he'd win here this weekend, I don't think he would have said yes. So this is an incredible turnaround, and obviously there were some circumstances that helped him be on the top step of the podium today, but at the same time he did manage to turn things around from Friday to Saturday, and I think he's been struggling to find his balance in that car and the perfect setup, and he did manage to finally find something that works for him. And so yeah, great step in the right direction, but I do think both Charles and George will still go home and think they have a little bit more homework to do.
A little bit of work to do. Yes. Second win of the year for Ferrari, following Lewis's inaugural win for the Maranello team in Barcelona. And the flag has gone up, as it does. This is hot off the press, fresh from Maranello. Victory for the Italian team. Before we go, by the way, there are many unsung heroes in the Sky F1 team, and we're waving goodbye to one of our own today in the form of Superstar. Flip it round, Pete, go on and show Tommy, who's been with us since the very start on Sky F1. He's here with the family. It's actually been family day for Sky F1, really. It's been a complete crash. Naomi's is here, mine are here, Tommy's are here, the bosses are here. It's a family affair, and it's like a festival. And we've got, there's too much sugar has gone round, too much sugar today. We've got to calm them down. But it's been a pleasure. We wish Tommy all the best as he moves on to pastures new, as I said. But next up, Ted's race notebook. We're going to be back in a couple of weeks' time. 2 more before the summer break in Spa and Hungary. What a weekend. 600,000 fans have come to Silverstone, and in the end it was a Ferrari victory for Charles Leclerc. From us all here, bye for now.